At InCord, we are safety net experts. We design and manufacture fall protection systems to keep people and property safe from the hazards of life. For the entertainment industry, and for as long as theater has been in existence, the safety of performers, workers, and guests has remained a continual challenge. To this day, stage and scaffolding remain the single largest cause of workplace death and injury in theater. At a recent industry trade show, we heard from many individuals who either knew someone who had sustained serious injury or themselves had been hurt from a fall off a stage. The function of the InCord Orchestra Pit safety system is to protect workers, performers, and guests from injury if they fall into an orchestra pit. The orchestra pit absorbs a fall by stretching and displacing a load like a cushioning web. The safety system does not replace primary prevention measures such as solid pit covers, protective railings, or good safety training. InCord Orchestra Pit safety nets are custom fabricated to your requirements. When we say custom, we mean that each safety system has been custom designed specifically to your measurements. The importance of accurately measuring the orchestra pit and understanding how to measure will assure that the final product will fit properly and work as intended. Width, length, and midpoint measurements are made from a common reference point shown as the baseline in the sample illustrations. All measurements are typically made from the pit wall. Cutouts, jogs, and access openings such as a conductor's hatch or stairs should be measured and illustrated into a layout plan. Anchor mounting surfaces should be noted as being wood, concrete, or steel. An installed safety net cannot be installed over partitions or cables that could interfere with the function of the net to absorb and cradle a fall. And depending on the area to be covered by the net, a typical system must allow a clearance of at least 6 feet between the anchored net and the pit floor as to accommodate the maximum net deflection. Design considerations include visual as well as functional aspects. The net should not be seen by the audience, nor should it impede the function of the pit. The design and integrity of the anchor system is as important as the aesthetics of the safety net. Securing the system to the walls of the pit considers that safe loading and weight distribution is equal on all sides. The net is to be anchored at each corner and approximately every 2 feet in between. If the net cannot be directly attached to the stage or pit wall, the use of anchoring cabling may be an option. Many theaters in use today date back 100 years. For this reason, it is important to determine the condition of the anchoring surface and substrates when installing to older construction. Carefully measure and mark all attachment points to be drilled. A chalk line marker and a level can be helpful tools. Some installations require use of epoxy set anchors. Be sure to allow sufficient set time before attaching the net to this type of anchor. A non-reflective black paint is always applied to the finished anchors. The netting is attached to the pit wall anchors with 80mm snap hooks. The process of netting attachment begins at each corner and each side, alternating from one anchor point to the opposite, so as to stretch the netting evenly across the orchestra pit. InCord personnel may be contracted to site inspect and measure your orchestra pit. InCord can also supply full turnkey installation. Contact InCord for additional information. Keep in mind that most accidents occur from a coincidence of events, and that many accidents can be avoided through the use of preventative safety measures and proper safety training.